Hello everybody, this is Tracy K. Wood coming live at you from the Penthouse Lounge in Jacksonville Beach. This is a show about wholesaling and I'm here today to answer your questions. This show is about you. So I want to thank you for everybody who sent a question in. Probably won't be able to get to them all today, but I'm going to answer as many as I can in the short time that I have. So again, thanks for sending in your questions, and if I don't answer them this week, then be sure to watch it next week because I will get to your questions. First question is from Diane Rubenstein. Thank you, Diane, for the question. It says, I invest virtually in Jacksonville, just finding a couple of bird dogs, plus I have a realtor who sends me stuff every day. However, I'm not finding the right kind of houses from him. I am concentrating on Southside, and I see people wholesaling Southside deals for very little money. But all the ones I get from him off the MLS, almost without exception, are for way too much money and have mostly been fixed up already, or if an REO, maybe they are a new REO and much too expensive. My question is, what is the best way, other than using bird dogs, to find houses without doing a direct mail campaign for absentee owners, which I can't afford right now? Very understandable, Diane, not being able to afford a direct mail campaign. They can be pretty expensive. And the best solution that I would have for you is to do a bandit sign campaign, especially in Jacksonville. That's right in my backyard, right where I'm at. In fact, Southside is my area also. And you could put out 25 to 50 signs a week. That's really all you need as long as you are consistent with it and you do it on a regular basis. Then you will attract the perfect sellers off of doing bandit signs. For anybody else who will take the risk of putting bandit signs out, because yes, they are looked down upon in most areas. They do generate quality leads. Again, depending on the message that you use on the sign, that you need to target the right seller. But bandit signs are a great way to generate leads without doing a direct mail campaign. Dollar for dollar, they are probably one of the best methods for generating leads. So hopefully that answers your questions. And you can get somebody to, since you're not in Jacksonville, Diane, you can find somebody that is in Jacksonville that'll put the signs out for you and pay them, per sign and a gas per diem. That's what we do. But if you do Southside, that's my area too, so you might be competing with me, which that's okay. There's deals for everybody. The next question is from Mr. Tracy Acuff. The question is, what exactly do you say to sellers who call from the yellow letters who are paranoid about how you found them or why they're getting the letter in the first place? I did a test mailing of 36 letters to 60-day lates 2 days ago. Good news was, got 6 calls within 1 day. Bad news was they were all angry and wanted to know why they were getting a personal note and why I contacted them in the first place. How do you handle these people, and are these calls included in your response rates? Well, Tracy, yes. Unfortunately, a call that comes in is included as a response rate, but you can't really focus on the response rate when you're doing direct mail. You have to focus on your results. So if you mail 100 letters and you only get 1 call, but that call is a quality lead, then the campaign was worth it. On the second side of that, if you mail 100 letters and you get 15 calls, your response rate is very high, but if the seller calls, the quality of them suck, then it wasn't worth it at all. So you really need to focus more on the quality of your leads. The thing about the yellow letter is that it does generate a lot of unqualified seller leads. So you do have to weed through them, which can be a little frustrating. It's a good idea to have an answering service, handle your calls. Pat Live will take your calls. You can send them to voicemail and kind of pre-screen them out that way, which is the least recommended way that I do. But when you do speak to them, if they are angry or upset that you mailed them a letter, I call them screamers. And it really doesn't matter if it's a yellow letter or a postcard. You're always going to get screamers who wonder how you got their name and why you're mailing them a letter. And you know, there's several different things that you can tell them. I always say, I'm sorry to upset you, but we hire a marketing company that does all of our mails, so we don't really target you specifically, but you were in part of a list that was pre-selected by our marketing advisors. So, you know, if you don't want to sell your house, just disregard the letter and, you know, apologize. You're always going to get screamers, no matter what. Bandit sign creates screamers. Yellow letters attracts a lot of screamers, even postcards. So, and if you do probates, those will get you some screamers as well. So you just can't let them bother you. You just have to move on and, you know, take it with a grain of salt. That's part of the business. But if you have somebody screening your calls, then, you know, the less screamers you have to deal with. Next question is from Chris Robinson. How do you build a buyer's list without Craigslist? Well, Chris, I don't even use Craigslist to post my properties. I think it's entirely oversaturated, and just, I mean, now at one point it was good, but now it's kind of overrated. There's so much junk and garbage and even scammers on Craigslist that try to get information, personal information from people, that I don't use Craigslist at all to sell my properties. Instead, I actually use bandit signs as well to build a buyer's list. So I actually have a system for a funnel that I send my buyers through, and they end up putting themselves on my buyer's list. I don't ever have to talk to them. But bandit signs is actually a great way to generate buyers, quality buyers. It will go hand in hand with a website. So you need bandit signs and you need a website. If bandit signs are illegal in your area, which they are in a lot of places, and you don't want to take that risk, then you can do a direct mail campaign, a radius campaign, or select a zip code and mail some postcards out with a property for sale that you may or may not have. It can be a dummy property. You're just trying to generate the right kind of buyers, and then send them through the same funnel. Okay. Next question is from Gloria Butler. Is there a document that is signed between a buyer and a real estate agent that would keep other buyers from going behind your back to steal your deal? Now, Gloria, I'm not real sure what the question is, but if you have a signed contract, now remember we're talking about wholesaling properties here, which is where you sign a contract with a seller and then you have the right to assign it to your buyer for a profit. As long as you have a contract signed with the seller, there's no way anybody can go behind you and steal your deal from you. So make sure that you have an executed contract with a seller before you start marketing that property for a buyer. And a real estate agent, not real sure what you would need one of those for when you're wholesaling properties. I'm getting told that's the end of our time that we have. That went by really fast. So, of course, I didn't get to all your questions. I'll definitely get to them next week or maybe the week after. Just keep watching the show. www.propertymob.com is where you can submit your questions. Make sure it's related to wholesaling, and I'll answer them for you. Until next time, I'll see you in the lounge.